last 24 hours has been a correction in the crypto market. Still, the market cap is in green. You can see the total fluctuation. Why? Because some of these coins have moved positively. Some has been maintaining the green in last week. Last 7 days, some of these have been in green. Now there is a reason for that. You can see that from the chart itself. Now in the chart, you can look at the same chart with different patterns. As I've been highlighting to my patrons, it depends upon how you trade the chart and what time frames and what patterns are you recognizing. Now this is a XRP chart on a daily, and we are trying to look at the short to medium term pattern here rather than moving towards the medium term. Within that short to medium term, we are trying to look at what it would be acting in next 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So it's kind of aligned towards short term. Now this one is showing you the resistance levels connected and a breakout. Now these last 3 candles, not the current one which is being printed, because unless we close that candle, it's not confirmed whether it's in red, whether it's in green, we don't know. So we are looking at these 3 candles. So this one is actually showing you a bullish continuation. Now what do I mean by that? I will explain and take you guys through that. But if you step a little bit back in the same chart and look at the things like, okay, you are ready to look at it from last November's pump, that's from November to all the way here, then you kind of get to see this stuff. Look at the RSI, it's moving inside, and we need to break out that in longer term. Now that's not long term, actually it can be considered as a medium term. Now within short term, this your targets are kind of 0.7, but within medium term you need to break out. So what is going to happen? What does the MACD suggest? What is the RSI looking to show you? We have to go through that by taking you guys through a 3-day chart, weekly chart, monthly chart, and understand what is being shown in the charts. Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where we discuss crypto and science behind investing regularly. So as we just saw in the XRP chart, we understand that it's still moving inside the pattern. The RSI is showing you a crystal clear pattern which is kind of similar towards the price, and now you're able to look at the MACD. Now while looking at the MACD, do understand we are trending to the upside, the movement is to the upside, so that's supporting the RSI and the price. Now in a positive zone on a daily, MACD has crossed to the upside and it is still getting volume movement to the upside. Now look at the price and the volume happening here. Volume is actually dropping till a point, and now the trend is slowly changing. If you look at here, you will understand this one was a little bit of peaking, then we went back down. Now we are moving up again. So volume is showing you we are making a higher high in volume, meaning the volume is coming in. Now to understand the general outlook of the market, you can actually jump into the altcoin market. What do we actually look here? We are kind of looking at a breakout here within this pattern, as we are still closer to the altcoins resistance. Now we can just take this out as it didn't happen. We were focusing on that one to understand. But with this 3 candle here, a fake out happening, there were some coins which pumped and reached its targets. Say some like a coin which went and hit its medium term target. Some like DBC, it actually went and it reached the target 1 and is moving towards target 2. Now it's not only 1 or 2. We go through a lot of different assets, based on how they are looking in the market cycle, how they are acting in short to medium term charts, We do discuss about all of those in the Patreon. Now jumping back into the chart, this is altcoin market cap on a daily. So if we are looking at the altcoin market cap on a 3-day, you see something similar but a little bit tighter version, right? Now in the same stuff, if you just delete all of these just to get a balanced view, yes, the MACD is kind of making a double top. It can cross to the downside, meaning we've been highlighting a consolidative market, possibility of a consolidative market after reaching the all-time highs, and we are kind of seeing that. So even if we drop back here, you shouldn't be surprised. Instead, that should be a buying opportunity. At least in my opinion, for my portfolio, I would be considering doing that. Now if I'm looking at this stuff, at the same time I kind of think, okay, this is making a bullish pattern in the RSI, meaning you went up, you came down, you went up, you came down. But each time when you're coming to the downside, you are trending higher, you're making higher lows. That means strength is there in the market. So the buyers are showing strength. Underlying strength is in there within the edge of buying, right? So that's altcoin market cap. Now the general confusion would be, okay, then what is BTC doing? Like if you want to compare usually the altcoin market, we'll directly go into BTC dominance. Look at the structure. Now in the BTC dominance, this is what we are seeing. We are inside that pattern, and if we break to the downside, it's immediately 10-11% to the downside, or we can move within the pattern. Now that's on a 3-day. If you zoom out, look at it on a monthly to understand the macro, you are still trending to the downside. So yes, 2013, 2014, it was only kind of, Bitcoin and some others. Then as it was moving towards the 2017, we got the entire market moving upside and the dominance went to the downside. Now we are seeing something similar, meaning the market is kind of getting attention. Some of the coins like this here are getting way more attention than Bitcoin. And if you go to the return rates, you'll clearly understand one stuff. Look at the Bitcoin yearly gains, and now compare it with the other coins. Let it be any of your favorite coin, and as you go through and look at these, you'll understand the monstrous gains are being made in the altcoins. So whether you are a Bitcoin maximalist or an XRP maximalist, you'll actually understand the perspective of general market, how the investors are looking at this market. Now, being a guy who loves XRP a lot, understanding its fundamentals, I would actually look at, the maximum possible duration to get that clarity in time. So if I move into a monthly chart, you'll first see a trend which is moving like this on a monthly. Now that gives a lot more validity for that one, because we are still staying above the 50-day moving average on a monthly chart. Now coming on to the live chart of the same monthly, if I actually take these out, to just look at the perspective how we are moving. Okay, I'll just clear this and use a horizontal line to show you this support region. Now, did we actually go back down towards the previous low? No. So at least based on the common sense, the logic, this asset is still in bullish continuation. Now we've been talking about wave 1, wave 2, wave 3 in different market cycles, but do understand this. When we are looking at one particular market cycle, we are getting 3 waves, in which the 2 waves are huge, and especially the second wave is huge. Now, if you are somewhere here in the bottom and you're missing out the second wave, you are kind of ending up with 20% gain of the total market cycle. Say this particular pump is like 8,000%. So if you're missing that one, then from the entire pump of the entire market cycle, which is like 140,000%, how much do you actually get to make? From here till the top, it's 700%. Now say you understood after first month close that this was a bull run, you had to get in. So if you're entering from there, you're still making 19,000%, which would be 190x. So instead of 1,400x, you would be getting a little bit less, but that little does make a huge difference in your portfolio. Now say you are looking at this on a 3-day chart. Now yeah, you can see a lot more fluctuation there, you can see a lot more opportunities there. So that's why we try to concentrate more on short to medium term or medium term. If you are trading, if you are a long-term investor, yes, that's fine to make your average as low as possible and then trade this asset to the upside, because we see the fundamentals hitting huge. The fundamentals are changing in such a way that it's going to be so huge, right? Central banks are ramping up on digital currency plans, and as you go down, you kind of get to see what they are planning. They are looking to change the entire infrastructure of money, and we discussed through that previously. Now this one, BIS is showing CBDCs can improve the cross-border payments, and we know how it can be done. We went through the BIS documents in one of our last video, the recent video I think. So once that's happening, they are looking to eliminate intermediaries and fees. Now that's intermediaries for a payment, for a client. not in the process. In the process, you have two CBDCs. If you're looking at a cross-border transaction, which they are highlighting here, you need a bridge, whether it's USD or anything else. You need one which can be reducing, which would really reduce the fees associated and the time consumed. Now that come back to all the way to XRP. Okay, XRP is being created as a bridge asset, and it is still there. It is doing its utility. Even the judge says there is a utility as a means of exchange, and recent updates on XRP shows a lot more potential. One, the court case is moving towards positive end, where it's for us, the XRP holders, and Ripple the company, because they've been getting a lot more clarity on this one during that. Now that is what we are reflecting back in the price, because in last 7 days, if we have already moved 20% up, now yeah, we corrected a little bit back, so that's not the accurate movement to the upside, but that attention is still growing in terms of technicals. Now look at XRP USD on a 3-day. Now when we were going down, before we crossed to the downside, I told we may cross to the downside, but immediately we'll come up, and we came up and we crossed to the upside. Now you're following a pattern inside the RSI. Now that's on a daily. When you move out, and you kind of get to see there is a trend forming, and we were following this particular trend. Now the resistance lines are aligned properly, and we are looking at the same stuff. Now mostly Ether is something which moves the altcoin market. So general question would be, okay, what would be the altcoin market doing, what we can see? And when you're coming here, you kind of easily manage to see there is a double top forming here, and then the RSI is trending to the downside. So RSI is showing you a bearish indicator for Ether. The same time, when the MACD has already crossed to the downside, it came back, retested, but it was not able to cross to the upside. Instead, it went to the downside. Now, I know the general confusion is the entire market going to go down? So I would actually take you to something like this, where I'm only using XRP chart, and then I will take out Ether for a comparison. So if you actually look at the history to compare between them, you don't have to actually use the indicators for this stuff, because this will be only a comparison between XRP and Ether. So remember, on a weekly chart, XRP is bullish. On a 3-day chart, XRP is bullish. On a daily chart, XRP is bullish. So now, using the same stuff, we are going to see how this is going to turn out. Now looking at the comparison between them, from the bottom, if you are concentrating on Ether, and then that same fluctuation here, you would understand, we kind of had this first downside here in Ether, right? Then a higher low here. So if you really want to look at what literally was happening at that time in terms of price fluctuation, Ether went up 350%. Now you have to look at day, the range or the number of days taken from day towards the next bottom, where XRP made the new low for the year 2020, and that was like the low of the market cycle for XRP. It took 458 days. So that literally means XRP was way late in that party. Or at least in the positive side, you can actually look at this and say, when other coins were moving down and hitting this low here in that bear market, after this coming all the way back towards this one and hitting the low there, XRP didn't do that, because the low in this particular ride, say if you are comparing this one, before we took out for the blow off the top or the third wave there, this was the second wave. We came up here in Ether and we consolidated there. And now if we are looking at the bottom of that one, we came below here in Ether. Now if we compare the same one for XRP, you will clearly understand this is the range. If you are taking the candle close, it would be like this. If you are taking the wick, it would be like this. Both of them aligns well. Here this one, here this one. And then you're taking it to the top, the candle close, something similar, right? Now, it actually gives you a sense of ability to understand this is moving in a positive direction, meaning Ether has actually started its bull run, getting towards that breakout to the upside, moving above its all-time highs and staying above its all-time high. Now let's actually reduce this in a manner, give a concentration a little bit more into Ether. Now here you are trying to connect these and see when Ether took off. It was here, December. At that time we had calls from SEC that things are gonna go bad for Ripple the company, XRP the asset, and we were pushed down. Now eventually we are moving back up and we are being resisted in one particular area which we just highlighted. Now look at the Ether at the same time. Here at the end it's making a double top. Now that has to be really kept inside your mind, because if Ether is going to correct to the downside, the general market would actually think it's going to go down. So the support level would be around 1400, which we visited recently. So the chances are if we make a higher low, it would still be trending high with a similar double top model. Now you come here and look at the previous area where XRP was not moving much and Ether was doing a lot. So that area is actually here. Back in the market cycle of 2017, we kind of were looking at this in a manner, Ether was kind of moving, and XRP was not doing anything. Now, yeah, in this chart, when you are looking at this, it would be like, there was no much fluctuation there. But in terms of percentage, it went like 1700% there. And look at the fluctuation of XRP. It started that party late, but it reached similar ROI. If you are looking at this, XRP was still going down when Ether started its bull run. It moved to the upside, Ether went to make new high, and then from there it pumped. So now we are waiting at a point where Ether is looking to go bullish, again bouncing from this level. Maybe it's going to do another 100%, 200%, and that is when we are anticipating XRP to move completely independent. Now that's not the utility bull run we are talking about, that's just the market cycle. Now why do we think so? Because if we are looking at the general trend here in the chart for XRP, this is showing you something like bullish. It can be said as madly bullish, because it's showing you that trend where it's visible for each and every one of you, but majority would still not agree that it's bullish. If you just connect the bottoms, you're understanding the difference in the level of push down or the sellers coming into the market. So with that being said, you have to understand we are at which point right now. If you are looking at XRP and then plotting previous levels, you can see this was a resistance level previously. Now that's clear, crystal for majority of you guys, right? We were traveling in this direction, so that's the medium term trend. Now you have to look at this seriously. You are taking this particular level. This was a support here, and resistance here. So you are drawing a support resistance line there, and we are still above that. We are bouncing from that support resistance zone. If you want to understand that term well, connect the first resistance support point here, and then connect the support resistance zone at the bottom. It was a support here, a resistance here. You extend that, connecting the same zone, you will get to see this. Now you're coming back down, you're bouncing. So zooming in, you are still in a bull run. For XRP, we are just starting out, and that's how it usually happens in XRP, with a blast in price, which majority are not anticipating. And if you are moving out of XRP to take the benefit of the market when it is moving up in any other asset, you may miss the party. Now that's just my opinion, and I won't be doing that. Literally, if I want to trade, I'll only use 10% of my units in XRP to trade any other assets without risking the majority of my XRP positions. So if you understood what we are talking about, and if you are trading 10% or 20% depending upon your trading style in different assets to make profit and jump back into XRP, you can actually look at the Patreon. We kind of give you guys the idea of which item is going where, which asset is moving in which pattern, and what you are anticipating. We are kind of getting close to around reaching targets almost in 20-25 days. We are hitting that targets now, but mostly anticipate it to happen in 30 to 45 days. If it's 300-500%, yeah, that would happen. And for me, in 40 days, 50 days, 60 days, if we are hitting that 300%, it's cool. Look at CI coin, it was like 300% and we kind of did that. Now, those who had patience took the entire profits. Otherwise, if you are not patient, you would be taking a part of it. So it's completely up to your decision, your discipline and your patience level. Your risk tolerance has to be understood if you are trading. And if you are trading, you need to take wise decision. I hope you received value for your time, and if you really did, please do hit that like and subscribe button. If you would like to get these updates, you can look at the Patreon. The link is given in the description below. I'll meet you guys on the next video. Bye for now.